Tom Aspinall has dropped a few cryptic comments over the past few days that have sent shockwaves through the MMA world, leaving fans scrambling to figure out what it all means.
Heavyweight news coming. Look at that. But he joked that he was going to be defending his interim belt. I'm pretty sure. There it is. UFC announced my fights, guys. Not me. Sorry. I'm fighting for a new belt, interim of the interim BMF UFC heavyweight title, living my best life. I think in about a month or so, I think by International Fight Week, we'll know what's up.
With all the drama surrounding the growing petition to have Jon Jones stripped of the heavyweight belt, the timing of Aspinall's tease could not have seemed more suspicious. Whether intentional or not, the words he used and the way he delivered them have people talking.
But I think they just wanted that one more fight. They felt like it could be a big fight, and they're giving it their all. He gave them a number. They met the number. He said thanks, but no thanks. That's what happened. And I think he wanted, deep down, as we read the tea leaves here, I think he probably wanted them not to come to the table. And then he said, hey guys, not on me, right? I feel like that's the safest bet.
Fight.
100%.
And that's it.
And what about this? There are people who have started a petition to strip Jon Jones. We're now at 115,135 as of maybe an hour or two ago when we took this screen grab.
This was actually, we took a first screen grab an hour ago, and it was at like 113, 114, and then an hour later it was over 115.
Okay.
Wow, I signed it.
Yeah, so, but here's the thing. Jon does also bring up a good point. If Jon told the UFC like 2 months ago, hey, I'm not interested, it's no longer on him.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? So, like, you remember one time I sat here and I said the UFC is not to blame? And I said that because they met the number. But now, if he tells them, hey, I'm not interested, all right, you could say, well, you're to blame because maybe you told them, hey, if you meet this number, I'm fighting. And then you could say, all right, UFC is now back to blame because he told them 2 months ago, you know, I'm out. Why didn't you give Tom Aspinall a fight? There's this whole thing. Now, I heard Dana White say recently, like, look, we got to give these guys 3 fights a year. Remember we talked about this yesterday?
And if that shift does occur, if Jon Jones retires or the UFC finally strips him, it changes everything.
An idea. He was the one who delayed and delayed and delayed till Francis was out the fucking door. He could have fought Francis a long time ago. If he'd just taken the chance of going up to heavyweight earlier, we could have had him versus a prime Cain Velasquez. Cain Velasquez was 240. Jon Jones is 260, 265. And you're telling me Cain Velasquez was too big for him? What a load of shit. Stipe Miocic could have fought him in his prime, another one who was no bigger than Jon Jones. So when he's giving it the big and being like, oh, well, people always think someone's going to come and dethrone me. And yeah, I get the narrative. That was the way at light heavyweight. There was always that next guy coming up. But you ain't never fought an animal like Tom Aspinall, who is as quick on his feet, who has the speed that he does at 260 pounds, who has the heavy hands that he does. You have never been in there with a beast like that. It's just not happened. I'm not saying that means Aspinall wins, but for people to do the Tyson Fury thing of going, oh, well, he's always won, so therefore he always will win.
Because in that moment, Tom Aspinall becomes the man. No more waiting, no more interim titles. He becomes the undisputed UFC heavyweight champion, and all eyes turn to what happens next. That's where things get really interesting. If Jon Jones is officially out of the picture, either through retirement or inactivity, there's one name that immediately rises to the top of the list for a title clash. Ciryl Gane. UFC would almost certainly move toward booking Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane for the official undisputed title.
Ciryl Gane is maybe next opponent for you?
Well, he can fight Almeida first because he refused to fight with me. So now, before he jumps back in and waits for a shot, he can fight Almeida. Them guys can fight, and the winner can fight me.
Let's say if Jon Jones does vacate or he gets stripped or whatever and he's done fighting, who are we going to see Tommy Aspinall fight? Ciryl Gane, who just had a very questionable win, arguably lost.
Volkov, dude.
Against Volkov?
I want him to fight Volkov.
And on paper, that matchup is insane. 2 of the most athletic, technical, and well-rounded heavyweights we've seen in years, and both of them are incredibly difficult to prepare for.
Because I am fully aware of the rumor. Now, you guys probably haven't heard this. You're probably getting this right from me. From the time this leaves my mouth to the time we get this to California, turned around and onto the internet, is going to be about 40 minutes. So the only way I get scooped on this is if somebody hits me in 40 minutes. But the current plan right now, Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? For the interim championship. Now, I will back the moves.
Hey, can I ask you about Tom Aspinall real quick?
Yeah.
Do you think if he got in there against the likes of Jon Jones, do you think he's potentially got the talent to get it done?
I think he's got the talent to do it, get it done, but Jon Jones is savage, isn't he?
Yes,
he's unreal.
What he done against Ciryl Gane was crazy, wasn't it? Like, Cyryl's a
Ciryl
beast,
Gane,
isn't he? Like a fucking monster, and he just made him look like a kid.
I look at Ciryl Gane and look at Tom, and I think they're similar fighters, but Tom's just a bit faster. Do you know what I mean? Tom's a bit faster as an heavyweight.
And I think Tom's probably got the better jiu-jitsu as well, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
And better wrestling.
Yeah, I'd imagine, I've not seen loads of Ciryl Gane's jiu-jitsu, but I'd imagine Tom's is better.
Gane has the footwork, distance control, and striking precision that can trouble anyone. He's elusive, patient, and knows how to dismantle opponents without taking unnecessary damage. But when it comes to explosiveness and raw finishing instinct, Tom Aspinall might have the edge. Aspinall closes distance faster than any heavyweight we've seen in recent memory. He doesn't just rush in, he times his shots perfectly and takes full control once the fight hits the ground.
Who's next big heavyweight star?
Tom Aspinall, the guy who just won the interim title. He's phenomenal, and he is again the next the next advancement of the evolution of the sport.
How so?
Well, because he can do everything. That guy's got elite jiu-jitsu. He's got elite takedowns. His striking is outstanding. Like, I've seen a lot of heavyweight, even Francis, who's like the greatest, scariest power striker I've ever seen in the heavyweight division. No one's scarier than Francis. Francis does not move like Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall is significantly faster than every other heavyweight. That's a real problem, because he's a heavyweight and he's a big guy, a really big guy, but he moves so fast. And so his speed has always been like extraordinary compared to other heavyweights. Like, he just fucking moves in. It's all like fast, explosive movements. So he's got natural speed, but then he's also got a lot of training to execute quickly. So when he moves in, he closes the gap. You can see, like, he's fast for a big guy.
Right. I want to see it so bad.
Jon was shitting all over Aspinall, saying that
I think that's a bad way to go.
He was lucky that he blew his knee out with Curtis Blades, because Curtis was teeing off
Doing
on
well.
him. Unless Jon avoided him, unless Jon used his wrestling to avoid exchanges, you know what that's all about.
Correct. It's called the Shop Shutdown.
The Shop Shutdown.
I saw a 7-part
They did with
series on
Cyborg.
it. Yes. The Stipe fight, which is just like, it's a weird thing.
Aspinall's an athlete, man. He's such a good athlete.
Freak athlete.
Very fast. Very fast for a heavyweight.
So fast.
Yeah, but we felt the same way about Ciryl Gane, though.
Yeah, but
Ciryl Gane doesn't have wrestling, doesn't have jiu-jitsu. Aspinall's like legit on the ground. Very legit on the ground.
So legit that his dad owned a jiu-jitsu gym. His dad's a black belt. He started doing jiu-jitsu at 2.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Aspinall is past the first round, right? Because we've seen him. He looks so fast. He looks, you're like, nobody moves like him. He looks like a younger Kane.
Right.
But he just keeps knocking these guys out so quick. So I'm like, let me see him past the first round to see if he has that cardio as well.
His grappling is elite. His movement is unpredictable, and the way he handled opponents like Sergey Pavlovich shows just how dangerous he truly is.
See, I think pound for pound, and we won't ever find out. I think Tom Aspinall is the best. I think
Well, who knows?
I think Tom beats him.
Who knows if Jon beats him? Jon might beat him up.
Yeah, he could.
Jon might take him down and fucking ragdoll him on the ground, like, you know.
Jon easily could, because we don't know how good Jon is either.
And we also don't know what happens to Tom Aspinall in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th rounds.
He's
we have
never been-
zero
because no one's
idea.
gotten there.
No one's even gotten close.
There's so many question marks. Like, we don't know how good Jon is.
Right.
You can't tell me Jon's the best of all time, or he is the best GOAT, but you can't tell me he's the baddest heavyweight on the planet after being an older Stipe. That's not going to do it for me.
Right.
Aspinall is
Aspinall's
fucking good, and he's in his prime.
And well, Ciryl Gane almost beat Francis. I know you can say the thing about the knee, and Jones just smoked him.
Went right through
We
him.
also didn't know fucking Ciryl Gane was a fucking 3-stripe white belt. That's news to me.
But Aspinall, so far, the way he dispatched off
The Russian guy,
oh
yeah.
my God. And he's fast, but he's the same height as me, if not an inch taller, but thick. And I was like, you're a lot thicker than I would expect. And the speed, that's the thing that I'm like, okay, that's the danger. But again, grappling, he's a black belt, but Jon is...
It's different.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. They got to fight. But if they don't ever fight, we'll never know. Because we had that with Jon and Silva. We had that with Silva and GSP. So all these fights we will never see.
There's nowhere to go for Jon. He either has to fight me or retire now. If he does retire, everyone knows that he will have been avoiding me. I want to fight. Absolutely, I want to fight. If that's against Jon Jones or not. I'm just waiting on a date, man. Dana White's come out this week and said that Jon Jones is happy to do it. I've been in the rooms with the UFC and they've told me it's happening. I'm not chasing Jon Jones. The reason I want to fight Jon Jones is because he's got the belt. He's number 1 heavyweight walking around on planet Earth. But we need to find out who the guy is. If it's not Jon Jones, get out of the way. I'll fight someone else. Happy days.
If Aspinall versus Gane happens, it's a genuine 50-50. But most fans would say the momentum is with Tom right now. Beyond that potential fight, if Tom gets past Gane, he could be looking at a title reign that defines the next generation of the heavyweight division.
Jon, a legacy for what's exciting.
And Jon, if you're not into gambling your legacy, that to me sounds like you're scared of losing against me.
Because the landscape is shifting and new contenders are emerging, Aspinall could become the fighter who bridges the gap between the old era, dominated by names like Jones, Miocic, and Cormier, and the new wave that's just beginning to break through. Some believe he could reign for years, while others think he still needs that one defining moment.
See, I think pound for pound, and we won't ever find out. I think Tom Aspinall is the best. I think
Well, who knows?
I think Tom beats him.
Who knows if Jon beats him? Jon might beat him up.
Yeah, he could.
Jon might take him down and fucking ragdoll him on the ground, like, you know.
Jon easily could, because we don't know how good Jon is either.
And we also don't know what happens to Tom Aspinall in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th rounds.
He's
we have zero
because no one's gotten there.
No one's even gotten close.
There's so many question marks. Like, we don't know how good Jon is.
Right.
You can't tell me Jon's the best of all time, or he is the best GOAT, but you can't tell me he's the baddest heavyweight on the planet after being an older Stipe. That's not going to do it for me.
Right.
Aspinall looks fucking good, and he's in his prime.
And well, Ciryl Gane almost beat Francis. I know you can say the thing about the knee, and Jones just smoked him.
Went right through.
We also didn't know fucking Ciryl Gane was a fucking 3-stripe white belt. That's news to me.
The kind of victory that truly silences every critic and cements his legacy as one of the best in the world. And let's be honest, that moment was supposed to belong to Jon Jones.
I bet if he's weighing 215, he would fight Tom Aspinall better than him weighing 245 pounds. In his 205 frame, he could fight Tom Aspinall better than he'd fight him at that 250 because that's not his weight class. While he didn't last long with Ciryl, he didn't look as fast. He carried more weight. Ciryl just did some weird stuff. And Jon, you don't make mistakes against Jon.
Jon Jones is a bad guy who's trying to be a good guy. If we were living 1,000 years ago, he would be on a horse with the biggest battle axe, hacking heads off, and everybody would be running. And those people have always existed. These dominators have always existed. But Jon is like a genuinely sensitive, intelligent guy who's trying to do the right thing. But he's a fucking conqueror. He's a fucking conqueror. That's the thing that's inside of him that leads him to be the GOAT.
If I start, what's going on inside Tom Aspinall's brain?
Ice cold, nothing. Once the bell rings, I'm good to go. And when I was younger and less experienced, I used to go into a fight and I couldn't feel anything physically. The punches and kicks, they wouldn't really hurt. But now I'm a lot more well versed. It's painful, man. Like, because I'm so calm in there, I don't have the same adrenaline as I did 5-10 years ago. Yeah, the punches hurt, punches and kicks hurt more than they used to.
The best heavyweight MMA fighter in the world. By default, that also makes you the baddest man on the planet. If you were toe-to-toe with any other man in the world, you could them.
What do they call him? SAS? He's trained to maim and hurt. These people are trained to they want to render you lifeless.
Completely agree, but I do have a counter argument. We are trained to hurt each other. That's part of the sport. They are trained to poke eyes, knee in the groin. When the rules are taken away, who's to say that we can't headbutt them? If we're talking no weapons, you could get any MMA fighter and put him against a SAS special. 9 times out of 10, the MMA guy will come out on top.
Jon Jones, one of the greatest of all time.
He's going to come back. He's going to fight Tom.
Yes. You don't think so?
No.
Really?
For what?
For glory.
He already has the glory.
Yeah, one more glory before the lights fade.
Yeah.
Jon's a conqueror.
He's the best of all time. No one can say the opposite of that. He's the best.
He's fucking terrifying.
Jones is the heavyweight champion. He's an incredible fighter. You know, he's incredible. He's one of the greatest of all time. I don't think he can hold a candle to Tom. I think Tom will do the same thing to Jon Jones as what he did to Marcin Tybura. I don't think there's anyone that can stop Tom Aspinall. He's that good, he's that switched on, and he's just a great guy as well.
But if Jones steps away before that happens, Aspinall still has every opportunity to carve out his own legacy without having to beat the GOAT to do it.
Do you think the Aspinall-Jones fights happens?
It's got to happen. I was sitting next to Tom the other week at the UFC in London and talking to him about it.
How do you think that plays out if they fight?
I'll be honest, Tom's a friend. I love Tom. He's one of the coolest dudes in the whole of MMA. Even though Jones is getting old, I just can't pick against Jon Jones. The one thing I do think Jon Jones has got the best in the world and the best ever is his fight IQ. He has a perfect game plan to beat that person. As much as I love Tom and I want Tom to win, I couldn't pick against Jon Jones. It's just something I couldn't do.
He keeps saying he doesn't want Aspinall.
Aspinall need that fight. I don't need it. When you look at it, pretty much true. There's nothing that he's going to make winning that fight if it's not money. But for Aspinall, that will be everything.
Would you rather see him face Aspinall or would you rather see him face Pereira?
Aspinall will be a more challenging fight because Aspinall respond to a ground game better than Pereira. Aspinall will respond better in the wrestling than Pereira. He can do whatever he wants.
Jon Jones will smoke Tom Aspinall.
Tom Aspinall is athletic.
Aspinall is a great fighter.
Yep.
He's a good champion.
Aspinall.
Jon Jones will smoke Aspinall.
Yeah.
Smoke him.
I can't wait to see. I hope it happens. That's the fight that needs to happen. I think Tom Aspinall versus Jon Jones needs to happen.
Why do you think there's so much friction there? Why do you think it's not happening? Why? Because we see so much.
I think Jon Jones said he wants $30 million.
If UFC were to pay that, I'm sure they could figure out a way. You think he would do it?
Of course they get paid. They just reported earnings. Give me the exact numbers what their earnings was.
UFC brought in 1.4.
1.4 billion. We're in a situation where the company wants something from Jon Jones. They want Tom Aspinall to fight Jon Jones. Jon Jones says, I would like $30 million. Can you guys pay me, yes or no? No, Jon Jones, we can't pay you. Perfect. The fight doesn't even happen.
I think that the UFC don't like to pay that type of money because you know how hard it is to train for MMA.
Jon Jones is the heavyweight champion. He's an incredible fighter. You know, he's incredible. He's one of the greatest of all time. I don't think he can hold a candle to Tom. I think Tom will do the same thing to Jon Jones as what he did to Marcin Tybura. I don't think there's anyone that can stop Tom Aspinall. He's that good, he's that switched on, and he's just a great guy as well.
Especially if he defeats killers like Ciryl Gane and any other rising threats the UFC throws his way.
To beat Jon Jones, you need to have fast eyes, fast reactions, fast reflexes. And Stipe Miocic at 42 years old just doesn't have the reflexes anymore. No. That someone like a 31-year-old, I don't even think I'm in my prime yet, but almost prime fighter has.
If I'm being completely honest, I feel like Tom's been such an asshole that I don't want to do business with him. You know, it's just like his fans have been so annoying. And obviously you don't get this far in a career being affected by fans or whatnot, but he's just an asshole, you know, with his, you know, he's 30, so he's from this influencer generation where you hop online and the t-shirt sales and all that. I'm past that type of stuff. I'm like, bro, if you had a little bit more respect, then maybe we could have worked something out, you know, but I just don't even want to do business with him. You know, at the end of the day, this is a business. And fighting me gives him an opportunity to change his life forever. And I don't even want to give him the opportunity. Like he just played his cards wrong with me personally. And you know, I'm 3 years from being a 40-year-old grown man. You know what I'm saying? It's just like the press conference, going through the whole shebang with him. I'd rather not do. Pereira on the other side, respectful, cool, barely says much. It's like, I'll do business with you. I would risk it all with a human being like you. You actually have the accolades to back up your shit. This other guy is just a big mouth who's hot today. There's been so many guys who's hot today who are just gone. You know, Sergey was in the same position not too long ago. Now he's starting to fall off already. I've just been around this sport too long to give a big mouth who's hot today the opportunity.
So, the question becomes, is this all part of a transition? Has the UFC already started preparing for life after Jon Jones? And has Tom Aspinall quietly become the new face of heavyweight MMA without even needing that final fight to prove it?